are abundance of elements, common elements that are present in our day-to-day life. So you know very well when we talk about water, it is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen. You know very well that hydrogen and oxygen are present in great amounts in the atmosphere. And when we talk about carbon dioxide, so carbon and oxygen, so somewhere hydrogen, carbon and oxygen is very important in life. When we talk about earth crust, so silicon, aluminium, iron, you can see in the graph, in the pie chart, that these are the elements present on earth crust. And when we talk about human body, you know very well you take in oxygen, give out carbon dioxide. So oxygen, carbon and hydrogen is very important and common element that is present in human body. Now, we'll talk about compound. So what is a compound? So a compound is a substance, I quote, pure substance that is made up of two or more different elements that have been chemically joined in a definite proportion. Let me tell you, children, that compound is something a combination of two elements. As you know very well that 26 English alphabets are huge words, right? They combine together and they make words, right? These alphabets together to form words. Same way you have 10 digits 0 to 9, right? And they make a great combination to form numbers. Same way, these compounds are what they are, the combination of two elements combined together in definite ratio to form a compound. Now, there are certain characteristics of compound that you need to understand, but before that, there is a table 4.3 given in your book that examples of compound. Water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. When we talk about sugar, it is a combination formula is C6H12O6 glucose or C12H22O11. So C is for carbon, H is for hydrogen and O is for oxygen. So sugar is made up of three elements, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So you need to learn table 4.3 thoroughly. Now, the next topic is characteristics of compound, the last topic of your exercise 1. That what is a compound? I have already told you. And the characteristic, first thing, it is a pure substance. Why? Because two elements are combining together with their definite properties. So it is a pure substance. Then, the constituting elements of a compound are combined in definite proportion. I have already told you this. It is always homogeneous. Homogeneous, that means it is clearly mixed together. Okay, you cannot make out what is the difference between the other two. Okay, then it is represented by a formula like sodium and chlorine are both elements. When they combine together, they form sodium chloride, NaCl, glucose C6H12O6. So they are represented by formula. That's why you need to learn the formulas also in your book that are given in your book. And they have a fixed composition and therefore fixed ratio of atoms are represented by a fixed formula. Now, it is very difficult to separate the elements from a compound. It is very difficult to separate them by physical methods. So you have certain chemical methods to remove it. So with the help of electrolysis, you can separate the compound. A very good example, what first thing is, what is electrolysis? It is the separation of two elements with the help of electricity. You pass the electric current into these two rods that are present here. These are two nodes on which electric current is passed. One is positive, one other one is negative. That you'll learn later. They are the two nodes known as cathode and anode. And then high amount intensity of electricity is passed and this mixture is solution is kept inside the electrolytic cell. This is the cell, or you can say what is vessel. The solution is kept and then electricity is passed. high amount of electricity breaks the bond between them, and the negative one moves to the positive terminal and the positive one moves to the negative terminal. Now, the property of water is entirely different from the hydrogen and oxygen. You know very well. Hydrogen burns itself, right? It is a supporter of combustion. Oxygen supports burning, but water helps in putting off fire, right? Hydrogen and oxygen are supporter of burning, but you know very well that whenever there is any emergency of catching fire, you put water. So hydrogen and what oxygen is there also, but property entirely changes. Okay. Same thing goes with a very good example that is given in the slide also, sodium chloride. Now sodium and chloride, they both are metal, and if you store them in any kerosene oil, it is very reactive. Sodium metal that is stored in kerosene oil. Now you think, why kerosene oil? Because it is very reactive, air and water. And chlorine is a reactive yellow gas, which is poisonous. Now you understand, one is poisonous and one is very reactive, and they combine together and they form salt that you use it in your nutrition diet. So it is very important that two elements have to be mixed together in a definite proportion so that they may form an entirely new compound and have the different properties, and they can be separated by chemical processes such as electrolysis, and it cannot be separated by physical means. So with this we complete exercise 1, and your work for today is to complete exercise 1 by yourself, and then we'll discuss it tomorrow. And do subscribe the channel, my channel, so that you may get the notifications